What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unbreakable Grind. It's your guy CJ, back with another video. I've got something special for all of you who really want to break barriers in your life. Not just achieve, but break barriers, okay? You know, in ancient fables, they would refer to slaying the dragon as the ultimate feat, the ultimate challenge. And if you're trying to overcome the ultimate challenge in your life, I've got something short and sweet that's going to be important because these things challenge me when I was slaying my own dragons. All right, I want you guys to really pay attention to this. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and useful for you guys, man. Let's get right into it.
That's why a dragon hoards gold. It's like, what's up with that? Well, it'll eat you, and it will, but it has gold. Well, so what do you do about that? Because it's paradoxical demands. Well, what you want to do is face the dragon and get the damn gold. That's what you want to do. Well, you have to be a paradoxical being even to do that. So, you know,
and I don't want you guys to miss that already. Okay? To slay the dragon and to get the gold, you got to become a paradoxical being. Let's really think about that. Right? To slay the dragon, to overcome this ultimate feat and get the gold. You know how I talk on the channel. The gold is for your people. The gold is so that you can provide. To slay the dragon and to get the gold, you have to be a paradoxical being. In a paradox, those are two meanings. That's bringing together two contradictory meanings together that don't normally mesh. You have to become two things that don't even coincide with each other typically. They don't typically mesh. Two ideologies and ideas that don't even really fit together. The only way you can slay the dragon is if you become that. Right? I want you guys to really not miss that. All right, let's keep going. That's very important.
in The Hobbit, for example, when, what's his name? Frodo, right? It's Bilbo. It's Bilbo in The Hobbit. You know, he's kind of this little underdeveloped, overprotected Shire dweller, and he's called on a great adventure to go and find the dragon, and he has to become a thief in order to manage it. Well, that's pretty weird, you know. It's like, well, it's because as a good citizen, he's just not enough to conquer a dragon. He has to also become a bad citizen in some sense.
As a good citizen, it's not even possible to slay the dragon. As a good citizen, it's not even possible to slay the dragon. That doesn't mean that you can't accomplish things as a good citizen. You can solely be a good citizen and do well. But to slay a mother effing dragon, see, this is what I really want you guys to make sure you wrap your head around. Because if you don't, when you're out slaying a dragon, you're going to feel awkward. Once you really realize what it takes, you're going to feel weird around good citizens, right? People that expect the good from you, right? Because when they catch you doing what it takes to slay the dragon, it might get you off center. You're going to be acting in a way that they might not be able to wrap their head around because they're not trying to slay a dragon. I need you guys to understand that you need to really understand what it takes to break large barriers, to achieve high demand goals. You have to be you have to take on a paradoxical structure. You have to be a paradoxical being. You have to take on these almost contradictory meanings. And it's very important to understand that. Because if you don't, you're either going to not achieve your goal because you're not going to understand that this is what it encapsulates, or you're going to be very uncomfortable while achieving your goal. You're going to be, even if you push through, you're going to feel uncomfortable and feel like you're doing something wrong, right? Because you're not going to know for sure that this is what comes with it, okay? So let's keep going.
He has to incorporate the part of himself that's monstrous, let's say, and develop that and hone it. And that's to say that, well, if you're harmless, you're not virtuous. You're just harmless. You're like a rabbit. A rabbit isn't virtuous. It just can't do anything except get eaten. It's not.
Understand that. I've got to stop this because he's dropping so much information in such a compact way. Right? So in order to slay the dragon, you have to acknowledge the monster in yourself. You have to acknowledge the monster in you. You have to literally not only acknowledge the monster in you, you have to develop the monster in you. You have to pay attention to the monster in you, and you have to develop that part of your personality. You have to develop that part of your skill set to be a monster. But here's the thing. Once you're a monster, now you're harmful. You can cause harm. You've developed the vicious part of yourself, that harmful part of yourself. Now you can cause harm, right? But you don't want to cause harm to everyone. You only want to cause harm to the dragon so that you can get the gold. You want the dragon to understand that you can harm it. So he says something very important. He said you can't be harmless and virtuous. You cannot be harmless and virtuous, right? So look up the definition of virtuous, right? If you're virtuous is having the ability to cause harm but not doing it. That's pretty much a virtuous type of gesture. I can destroy you, but I'm not going to destroy you. That's a virtuous person. I can destroy all the people around me, but I'm not going to do it. That means you're virtuous. Now, if you don't destroy anyone, but you also simultaneously don't have the ability to destroy anyone, then you're just harmless. You can't destroy anyone. You're not virtuous. You just can't do anything. And this is a very, very important thing to understand. You're only virtuous if you can cause harm, but don't cause it. Then you're virtuous. If you're harmless, you can't cause harm. That's why you're not causing any. The distinct difference. So once you hone in on that monster, you pay attention to your inner monster. You develop that. Now if you got that mother effer developed, now you're harmful and you're equipped to actually take on the dragon. And you can be virtuous to those around you. Hey, I'm virtuous. I'm not trying to take you guys out. You know, I am developing my monster. You know, when you see what I do to this freaking dragon, you might think I'm quite evil. That's because I have to be paradoxical. I have to be a paradoxical being to slay the dragon. I want to be all good. But unfortunately, this mother effing dragon I won't win against this dragon being all good. I have to tap into the vicious part of myself and I have to develop the monster. Now I'm harmful, but I'm also virtuous. Because I'm not harming everyone. I'm harming this mother effer. The freaking dragon. So I can get the gold and I can give it to my mother effing people. And I'm going to be, you have to be comfortable in the idea and understand that that's what comes with you being the one to slay the dragon. When you're the one to slay the dragon, that's what it comes with, right? And this is going to be met with people not understanding. So you have to understand, right? If you're developing your monster, that usually contradicts most moral structure, right? It contradicts most moral structure, whether it be religious, institutional. Usually, it's honing your monster is a bad thing. Okay, so you're gonna look like a bad guy or a bad woman. It is what it is. But you have to slay a dragon. But you also must be virtuous and not harm. So pay attention, man. It's super cold stuff, but it's super important if you really, really want to break barriers. Let's keep going.
Virtuous. If you're a monster and you don't act monstrously, then you're virtuous. But you also have to be a monster. Well, you see this all the time. Harry Potter's like that too. It's like he's flawed, he's hurt, he's got evil in him. He can talk to snakes, man. He breaks rules all the time. All the time. He's not obedient at all. But, you know, he has a good reason for breaking the rules. And if he couldn't break the rules, him and his little clique of rule-breaking, you know, troublemakers, if they didn't break the rules, they wouldn't attain the highest goal.
If they didn't break the rules, they wouldn't attain the highest goals. Look, people don't teach this, dog. I literally had to I'm so thankful that I was so intentional when I thought through things. I freaking figured a lot of this stuff out. You know, when I see something like someone like Jordan Peterson, he blows me away because he articulates these ideas that I had to struggle with a lot of times alone. I had to struggle with them, with the thoughts, because I couldn't find anyone to communicate them with that really I felt was understanding what I was trying to say anyway, or attempting to say. But when I came to these conclusions, I kind of realized I have to be a paradoxical being. I can't be all good. You know, I can't achieve the highest goal. I can't achieve what I want to achieve being all good. I have to be vicious. I have to be destructive to a certain extent. I have to encapsulate some of the things some of the attributes that one would probably not call desirable, uncomfortable, you know? And anyway, you get the point. You can't achieve the highest goal being a good citizen. That's kind of amazing, guys. Let's keep going.
So it's very peculiar, but it's a very, 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 very common mythological notion. You know, the hero has to be a monster, but a controlled monster. Batman is like that, you know. I mean, it's everywhere. It's the story you always hear.
Is this where morals become ethics?
And it's that simple. I won't even go any longer than that. I think that's all we need. The hero has to be a monster. The hero has to be a monster. I need you guys to really understand that. Okay? You've got to hone your monster. Now this is the thing. If you're not trying to break ultimate barriers, right? I set very high goals for myself. Okay? Very high. In order for me to achieve those, slay the dragon, I have to take on a lot of these attributes. You don't have to. You can live your life all good. But I need you to understand what comes with trying to push the limits. When you're trying to push the freaking limits, you're going to have to understand these ideologies. You're going to have to really understand them and own them. You're going to have to develop your monster. You cannot achieve. This is the thing, right? In these mythological stories, I guess you could say, the dragon is always the barrier to like the gold, the pot of gold, just like he described. And that's a very good analogy. You know, I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Why in the world is the gold always behind this big impossible feat? And that's kind of the idea. Is the big impossible feat, if you move it to today's time, you're still dealing with a dragon. You're dealing with the system. You're dealing with the structure. You know, you're dealing with the hierarchies. You're dealing with all these different things, man. You're dealing with the politics. And to slay that dragon and really tap into the gold, the pot of gold behind the dragon, you can't be all good citizen. You get what I'm saying? That's why laws are made in certain ways to where if you can understand them, you can get through them. But if you're getting through them, you're technically bad because you're manipulating them. But if you're manipulating them, that's good and bad. You see, it gets interesting, guys. You have to own that. You get what I'm saying? You have to own that. You have to hone that, guys. And with that being said, guys, if you like this content, hit that like button, man. Subscribe if you want more videos. Notifications, you want those immediately. If you really want to break barriers, man, tap into that monster. Understand that most won't understand you when you're doing it. You know, understand that you're going to have to do things that might be more vicious in nature. That's a good thing. To be virtuous, you can't be harmless. You have to be harmful. You have to be harmful but controllable. You control that harmful energy, that harmful strength that you have. All right, guys? And I want you guys winning, man. I got some great content coming, guys. You know I'm going to keep the heat coming. Like always, guys. Peace.